This is not just another broadcast. This is Frozen Apex TV, where racing is treated like the elite competition it is, where preparation meets pressure, and where nothing that matters goes unseen. We understand the sport because we understand the drivers, the commitment it takes to be here, the discipline behind every lap, the difference between sending it hard and sending it home. That's why we don't just follow the race, we break it down, corner by corner, battle by battle, from every angle that tells the real story on the track. While others catch the moment, we capture the meaning behind it. The dive bombs that change championships, the defensive lines that define careers, the split-second decisions made at 200 miles an hour. This is coverage built for leagues that demand credibility, for drivers who expect professionalism, and for competition that deserves respect. No missed action, no wasted shots, just pure, uninterrupted racing, delivered with precision. Freeze the moment, own the apex. Welcome to Frozen Apex TV. Welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are just firing off some qualifying here, riding along with Jacob Bessemer. See how the laps are coming in. He's currently sitting on the pole. Jake Balmain right behind him. Dylan Harris puts it up in the first spot. Jackson Fanistock, Evan Clapper, Yates, McCall, Novitz. The whole crew is here tonight. How y'all doing? We missed last week, but we are back. Jake Balmain sitting on the pole. Niles Davis putting her up there. Again, Dylan Harris, P2. Evan Clapper steals her in the front. So I want to apologize about not being around last week. We bought a new truck, so I was signing some paperwork and doing all that hoopla that involves getting trucks here. And yeah, so I didn't get home until real late, and we weren't able to get the broadcast fired off. And I'm going to pre-apologize for tonight. For the chance, we have some serious storms rolling through upstate New York. They look like they're maybe 2 hours out, roughly, depending how this front is moving in. We should be able to get the race in no problem, but if they do speed right along, I want to say sorry if I lose power or lose internet or something crazy like that happens. So currently following Zane Woods in his qualifying attempt. A new scheme on that car. He mows it down the tail. Doughboy Cinematography on the front. Driver out of Franklin, Georgia here. Let's see how Zane does. A little bit off pace, looking like he's going to be scored 28th on his first go. Trying to build a little bit of speed here, see if he can get that number a little bit better for himself. Coming out of 4, let's see if this one's any faster for him. Nope, looking like they're taking the first lap. So he's going to, at the moment, looks like he's firing off in 28th spot. Matt Sisler here pulling it in. He just put it in P2. John Santoro parked on the backstretch. He's currently sitting in 5th. Devin McIntosh. Very patriotic scheme here tonight. Don't necessarily need to qualify the greatest if you're good at running heat races. Lil Hooper, I think I just saw your comment the moment that I just said that. You don't need to qualify good if you're good at running through heat races. So we are about to fire off heat race number 1. Let's take a look at the starting grid here. Starting on the pole for heat race number 1, we've got Matthew Bruce with John Santoro on his outside. Devin McIntosh with Jake Balmain make up row number 2. Row 3 is going to go to Ryan McCall and Jeffrey Yates. Then we've got Jacob Bessemer, Jackson Fanistock, Kyle Taub, and Milo Novitz. Michael Harris, Dan Rybarczyk, Nathan Swafford, Blake McClung, Austin Wright, and Timothy Presley are going to fill our field of 16 here. As these drivers are just gridding in, we got 6 laps. Reminder to those at home or those just tuning in for the first time, there are no yellows in our heat races. So if you wreck, pack your stuff up and get it off the track. Austin Penrod, I don't know how we survived last week without you, dude. I don't know. I feel bad because I have them all chronologically ordered on YouTube, and then last week we got a miss, man. There's a skip. We did not make it to Loudon. Got a Steigerwalt fan in chat. We got Steigerwalt in chat. Penrod. So John Santoro, Matt Bruce leading us out of the pits here. Want to ask chat, how are my audios? Can you guys hear the race okay? Can you hear me all right? I know they're not screaming right now. They're just pacing, but I had an update on my broadcast software, and usually that makes my audio levels go a little goofy. So hopefully everything's sounding okay on your guys' end. Turn down the engine volume. Okay, turn that down just a bit. Well, obviously we'll know a little more as the cars fire off here. I did sneak it down a little bit. Some sharp-looking cars out there. Some that we haven't seen before. We'll make our way through the field here. Hopefully they get to all stay alive. Out of turn number 4, pace car makes the hard left-hander. Matt Bruce, John Santoro going to fire us off and lead us to green. Green flag. Here we go. Alright, Matt Bruce takes a pretty commanding lead immediately into turn number 1. John Santoro says he wants to take it up top. Devin McIntosh owns the bottom at the moment. All the cars kind of file in, coming down the backstretch here. Decent looking pack so far. Trade paint with the wall. Ooh, John Santoro hard into the wall. There's a lick, and there goes cars around, cars in the air. Cars kind of everywhere here. They look like Nathan Swafford took quite a hit. Bunch of cars going back. Santoro in the wall again. Trying to do everything he can to get every ounce of power out of that 12 machine. Contact there with 36. Santoro's car seems like it has a little bit of a push coming on corner exit. Trying to sneak her up as close as he can to the wall, and looks like every time he flirts with that right rear alignment. Right up front, we got Devin McIntosh trying to figure out if he can find a faster lap time than Matthew Bruce and possibly set himself up for a pass. And Jacob Bessemer's right there behind McIntosh, looking for his attack here as he goes a lane higher, tries to make a move around the outside. Still being led by Matt Bruce here. Twin sticks in the air, 2 laps left. Good run by Devin McIntosh here, holding off Jacob Bessemer. Bessemer shows the inside, doesn't quite have it. Could have dove her in there. Looked like he might have backed out of it a little bit just to avoid the contact. We're going to see how he runs this now that the white flag is being shown. Quite a battle for second, but could be a battle for the lead with one wrong move by Matt Bruce. McIntosh looking like he's playing defensive, trying to take the lane off the 40. Looks like the 40 might just let him have it. Drives her in hard on the bottom. Not giving it for free, but I don't think he's got the run he's looking for. Matt Bruce is going to win it. Devin McIntosh, Jacob Bessemer, John Santoro, and Ryan McCall are going to be your top 5. Followed by Jake Balmain, Michael Harris, Dan Rybarczyk, Austin Wright, Timothy Presley in 10th, Blake McClung in 11th. Then the ones stuck in the pits are Milo Novus, Jackson Fanistock, Nathan Swafford, Jeffrey Yates, and Kyle Taub. That wreck was bad. I don't think, the heats end too quick to really be able to go back and take a look at it, but it was not a good wreck. Most wrecks aren't good, and then Charlotte somehow seems to bring out the good wrecks. Or the best, the worst of the best of the worst. All right, heat race number 2 lineup here. Starting, let's start on the pole, maybe. Starting on the pole, Russell Windsor. And to his outside is going to be Philip LaFranca. Robert Weevil and Ty Weems make up row number 2. Row 3 is going to go to Dylan Harris and Niles Davis. Row 4 to David McCulloch and Tyler Yates. Row number 5 is going to go to Owen Vance and Alan Steigerwalt. Starting in 11th, we got Eric Knowles and Austin Penrod starting 12th. 13th is going to go to Dakota Crawford and 14th to Zane Woods. And starting tail is going to be James Lambert in the 54 machine. Two very dominant, very fast cars all year. Got some speed in this heat. Russell Windsor has shown speed all season long. Been pretty dominant. No surprise to see him in the front of the heat. Philip LaFranca up there as well shows a ton of speed and doesn't necessarily have the greatest luck from what we've seen, as he can be up front a whole bunch and then just something crazy happens that he seems to get collected in. I believe the black with the green inside row 2, I believe that's Robert Weevil. But I'm not seeing any numbers on that car, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. As Windsor and LaFranca bring us to green. 6 more laps here. Heat race number 2 at Charlotte is underway. Car's already fanning out. QT33 in the back, sending it towards the wall, trying to make a lane of his own. Let's See how this goes as we fire him down the back chute. Franca to the inside. Windsor on the outside. Some smoke in the back. As Windsor's going to lead lap number 1. Back through the pack here, we've got Owen Vance and the Aaron's 88. Running way up top. Tyler Yates, a little bit of struggle brushing the outside wall in that 33 machine. A little bit of push on that car on turn exit. So he just gets up just a little bit, brushes that wall, and that's going to scrub a decent amount of speed off of that car. Ooh, and we got one around. We got a couple around. Zane Woods hard into the wall. 33 hard, 72 hard. Another big one. I think same lap. Lap 2. Another big one. I believe that collected David McCulloch, Alan Steigerwalt, Tyler Yates, Zane Woods, I believe, were all involved in that wreck. Russell Windsor's still leading it, but Ty Weems giving him a little run for his money. The outside run there. Trying to find the speed. Ty Weems showing that inside push. Great battle for the lead here. As we are just about side by side. 2 to go. Holding that inside lane. Windsor trying to carry a little more speed around the outside. Can he make it stick? Still being led by Windsor, but don't count Weems out. As the white flag is shown, we're going to see some moves here maybe. Seems to have a little bit of a gap. Can Weems make it back up? Weems trying to set himself up here to make the pass in 3 and 4. He stays high. Russell Windsor goes low to kill the lane. Don't think Weems is going to have the run coming out. It looks to be Russell Windsor picking up heat race number 2. Followed by Ty Weems, Niles Davis, Robert Weevil, and Owen Vance are your top 5. Then Dylan Harris, Philip LaFranca, Austin Penrod, James Lambert, Eric Knowles, Dakota Crawford, Zane Woods in 12th. David McCulloch, Tyler Yates, and Alan Steigerwalt did not finish the race. 13th, 14th, and 15th. Once we can confirm warm up, there we go. Let's get an interview here with Mr. David McCulloch. Dave, it's Fred up in the booth. You got a copy on me.
What's happening, Fred?
Well, what happened there? We kind of caught the tail end of it and just saw cars going everywheres.
Well, Al and I got side by side there, and I'm not really sure. I don't know if he thought he had more room to the top there. You know, I'm not really pointing fingers, but we got into each other. You know, I was there, and like I said, I don't know if he thought he had more room than he did, but no harm, no foul. It was a heat race. You know, we'll start towards the back and see if we can work our way forwards.
Yeah, that's growing up here with the dirt tracks and the short track stuff. Everyone always says heat race doesn't pay the bills, so you got to leave it on the line for the feature.
That's right. You know, no sense getting sideways about it. Alan, actually, I just seen he sent me a message and he was apologizing. Said he thought he had more room, but like I said, man, it is what it is. We'll work through it and start heading to the front as soon as we can.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Is you got a lot of laps here at Charlotte, and I know in the past with Superstar ARCA, Charlotte's been quite hectic, quite chaotic. Do you have a plan or accident avoidance strategy?
All of the above.
you got like the what are the new sensors on the new cars that automatically brake for you and keep lane assist and all
Right.
that turned on?
Right. Yeah. Nah. I mean, we're just, going into this with mindset for the long game. I think patience will be a virtue here tonight. So a lot of guys are going to drive real hard, real early, burn their stuff up, cause accidents, and if we can avoid all that, we'll be sitting in pretty good shape at the end of this thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is more of an endurance race than it is. You just got to stay alive out there. So.
That's right.
All right, before I kick you back to your Elite Motorsports team to come up with the game plan, anyone you want to shout out or thank before I send you back?
Absolutely, man. You, of course, putting on this broadcast. Love watching the broadcast after the races are over, and appreciate you sitting up there in the booth. Fast Fred's Wrap Shop, Doughboy Cinematography, Dubby, entire Elite Motorsports team, man. We're got a great group of guys, and looking forward to the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Big plans on the way for Elite, and I'm excited to see it grow. So,
yes, sir. Gonna be fun times.
For sure. I'm going to send you back down to your team, and good luck tonight. Hopefully, we'll be interviewing you again.
Sounds good, my man.
Hopefully, it's not at the Infield Care Center.
Well, if we end up there, come get me, man. We'll chat about it.
We'll discuss the new Busch Light beer can look.
Yeah, those are big fish.
All right, man. Good luck.
Thanks, dude.
All right, that was David McCulloch, Elite Motorsports driver in the number 9 machine out of Greencastle, Indiana. Always a fun time to sit down and joke around with him. Good guy, fun to race with. Let's get our poll going. What wins tonight? There we go. We got a poll. What wins tonight? Chubby Ferd or Yoder? One of the best guys in the garage. Hey, careful what you're saying about him. No, I out of sim and just hanging out in Discord calls and stuff. We always like hanging out with Dave. He's a lot of fun. Easy guy to talk to, easy guy to get along with. We've become good friends through this league, and it's always great when you can, show up to race, but also be able to make friends out there. It's always great. You have guys that you can, not always just race around, but also just hang out with and watch a race or play other games and stuff with is always fun. Like Austin Penrod and Chad. We've been playing ARC Raiders, or we were for a little while. We have to get back on that. Another, just finishing up warm-ups. I'm just going to take a peek at the weather here. And it looks ugly. It is rolling in. Some storms coming. Hopefully we don't lose power or internet. Now, something I don't know if you noticed, but during the practice, it was dark, and now it's light. We started this early morning. I believe the heat fired off around 5 a.m. And now the practice, I think it's like 7 a.m. So we're racing into the sunlight, which is a little backwards than normal. So, 115 laps at Charlotte. Let's take a look at your starting grid. Starting on the pole, Evan Clapper, and to his outside is going to be Matt Sisler. Matthew Bruce and Russell Windsor make up row number 2. Row 3 is going to go to Devin McIntosh and Ty Weems. Row number 4 on the inside is going to be Jacob Bessemer and Niles Davis. We've got John Santoro and Robert Weevil. Ryan McCall and Owen Vance going to fire off in 12th. 13th is going to go to Jake Ball, Maine, with Dylan Harris to his inside. Michael Harris, starting 15th. Philip LaFranca is going to be 16th. Dan Rybarczyk starting 17th. Austin Penrod in 18th. Austin Wright in 19th, with James Lambert cracking out of your top 20. Timothy Presley firing off 21st, with Eric Knowles starting 22nd. Blake McClung 23rd, and Dakota Crawford firing off 24th. 25th is going to go to Milo Novitz, and Zane Woods is going to start in 26th. Nathan Swafford in 27th, Alan Steigerwalt in 28th. Jackson Fanistock starting 29th, Tyler Yates 30th, Jeff Yates 31st, David McCulloch starting 32nd, and Kyle Taub is going to bring up the tail in 33rd. There is your starting grid. We're just going to wait for the administration team to kind of get everyone in position. Then we're going to roll out. I think there's some penalties to issue from weeks past, so that starting grid might make a little bit of a shift as some guys getting some end of lines or some drive-throughs that they have to serve. So you might see some cars shifting and moving, maybe an extra pace lap or something. And then you'll be all hanging out to watch us fire off for 115 laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as we race into the morning. I think we're just letting the clock tick down. There goes the pace car. Matt Sisler and Evan Clapper fire us off. We have a full field, 33 cars. About to take on the Banks, America's home for racing. Charlotte Motor Speedway. Side fact, Fred's first NASCAR race was here. Real life race went to Charlotte. 2004. Which is crazy to think that I just said 2004, and I think some of the drivers in this league were not even born yet. Which that makes me feel great. So it looks like the lights in the pace car are off. We're going to dodge the fact that Fred's old. And I don't think we're going to get an additional lap. Everything seems to be organized all the way back through. So Matt Sisler and Evan Clapper, I believe they get the honors. The pace car has pulled it in. They're pulling up closer and closer to Barney. He's going to throw him the yellow or the green flag. Green. And we are green, green, green at Charlotte. Evan Clapper is going to be scored the leader for the first circuit around Charlotte here. Looking like we might be getting a little bit of three-wide action towards the back. Miles Davis looked like he might have wanted to push it into the middle there, but backed out of it. Probably a safe call, if we're being honest here, as we're only 2 laps in. We need to be three-wide this early. We got a car slow on the inside. Oh, I believe that is Zane Woods serving a penalty. I believe that is what we're seeing right there. Caught my eye, that bright white car. Right, Evan Clapper still leading her out front. Russell Windsor trying to make that outside lane form. Looks like he might be getting a fair push from Ty Weems, but might not be enough quite yet. Sisler on the bottom. Clapper trying to play defense the best that he can. Sisler's going to get to his inside door. Might be seeing a lead change here. Looks like Sisler not able to complete the pass. I think Clapper was still scored the leader of that last lap. Sisler still holding that inside. Just behind him, we've got Matt Bruce and Russell Windsor. Sisler led that one. Finally completed that pass. Played a little bit of the patience game. Was able to get underneath Clapper. As was Matt Bruce in the 21. W. McIntosh holding strong at 5th. And I know it's already early to talk about hard chargers, but we always seem to somehow resort back to this guy. Alan Steigerwalt is already up 5 positions in 7 laps. He is charging his way to the front in that beautiful UNOH number 72 machine. He's up 6 positions now. I believe he is yet to find victory lane. But it's not for a lack of driving it to the front every week. He's now up 7 spots, so per usual, we're going to keep an eye on him because he's pretty good at driving through the pack. Looking back up front, a little bit of 3 wide there. Robert Weaver on the top. Looks like Niles Davis in the middle. Bessemer on the bottom. Matt Bruce is right there, shooting low like he wants to make a move, and he does. Matt Bruce making it stick to the bottom. Almost completely cleared Sisler. That's my kid. Well, your kid is real good at driving race cars, I'll tell you that. I think his time is due to be, get a little bit of luck on his side, be running up front with these guys. I think he absolutely can hold his own. We've seen it before. A little bit of luck. We might be interviewing him in victory lane. Himself up 8 positions. He's now breaking into the top 20. So we'll keep an eye on him here. This is his teammate, Sisler. Doing a good job holding that line on the bottom. Windsor up into the wall is going to give Sisler a little bit more of a lead there. It looks like he's able to make that right back up coming into 3. Dylan Harris in that number 24 machine. Very patriotic, red, white, blue all over it. Very similar to the Devin McIntosh machine, red, white, and blue all over it. Couple sharp-looking cars tonight. Both running all right. Former Cup driver in that number 32 machine, Timothy Presley here. Currently in the 17th spot. And he's running a part-time schedule, if my data is correct here. At 32 MK in the machine. Sisler, Russell Windsor. We've seen this battle a few times this year. Usually it's at the end of the race, not here, only a tenth of the way in. Estimating roughly 30-ish laps. If we do stay green until we see the first, well, as I'm saying it, the first sets of pit stops. Looks like David McCulloch may have went around. Let's see if we can find that here. He is going to be in that yellow to red gradient number 9 machine. Oh, Austin Penrod actually went around. It's David McCulloch doing his best to keep that car going the right direction, keeping her off the wall the best he can. Doesn't look like much damage for the number 9 machine, but a lot of damage on the 31. Let's see if we can cut back to see what happened here with the 31 machine. So it looked like Nathan Swafford on the bottom, Dakota Crawford right behind him. Okay, a little bit of loose on exit. Maybe Crawford came up a little bit. 31 definitely looked a little loose. Crawford goes across the front into the spin. That's where he goes down. Ooh, big hit from Tyler Yates. Big hit. Also reported Niles Davis. Something else happened. Oh, just trying to get her slowed down for the yellow looped her. Good job keeping her out of the wall. No harm, no foul there. Caught the pack a little bit too quickly. And we are on our first pit stop of the night here. 17 laps in. It's ironic when you're the announcer and you get to talk and then things just happen. I was right there explaining that we should be going roughly 30-ish laps until we start seeing our first sets of green flag pit stops, and as I said that, the yellow comes out. So I think all of them are going to get fresh 4 in a full tank. As Sisler and Windsor are going to make the race off. Don't think any positions gained or lost. I think everyone's kind of on the same plan. right, the lights on the pace car are off. We're going to be going green this time by Austin Penrod. Definition of short end of the stick, man. Sisler on the inside, Windsor on the outside, Ty Weems, Evan Clapper going to be row 2, Matt Bruce, Jacob Besmer making up row 3, Ryan McCall, Niles Davis, row 4, John Santoro, and Devin McIntosh round in your top 10. Should be seeing the base car. 7er down pit road here once we come out of 4. He's going to let us know to go back green.
Green, green, green.
Hopefully, it's a clean restart. Green flag's back out. Sisler with a good jump on the bottom there. Pretty good pace here. Russell Windsor working the move around his teammates. Oh, maybe not teammates, actually. I thought they were, but maybe not. Pulling draft off Russell Windsor, getting pulled up into the wall there. Only 3 laps in this time by. Eagerwalt here. He's up 15 positions. He's worked his way 16 positions. He's way up to 12. Almost cracking into the top 10 in that UNOH number 72. One thing we know, the boy can drive. 17 spots. One away from the top 10 right now, how it sits. And that Raise Energy Doughboy Cinematography number 44. Running for Aces and Eights Motorsports. Holding his own up there in the 4th place position. Steigerwalt has entered the top 10. A little bit. Oh, and we got one going around. Looks like Philip LaFranca going the wrong way down a one-way street. Not sure what happened. Let's take a look at when that yellow come out. Let's see. He's there with, looks like Santoro. Oh, it was in front of him. Looks like a defensive checkup because looks like McIntosh and Niles Davis actually got together. We're watching McIntosh in the 74, Niles Davis in the 38. Alan Steigerwalt on the bottom in the 72. I don't think he has anything to do with this.
They're coming out of the turn. 3 wide. Niles Davis, a little bit of a wash up in the middle. It comes across the nose. McIntosh, then you can see on the right side of your screen, I think LaFranca was just trying to check up to avoid the wreck and must have mistakenly drove across the front. We're getting some other people as well. Dakota Crawford may have crashed. Is this just maybe under pacing? Possibly Jeff Yates crashed. Hopefully he's not going too quick to hit the field. Oh no! Good save. And then it's just saying that they crashed because they slowed underneath the. There's a tolerance of how slow the cars can go before it says that they've crashed. But LaFranca's still in it, still doing all right. Alan Steigerwalt, driver out of Lansford, Pennsylvania. We keep talking about him, but he has driven this car from 28th to 8th. He has now crossed 20 positions gained. Coming from the back to the front. He's on his Ross Chastain arc, driving it from the back to the front here at Charlotte. He's up into... looks like he's going to be firing from 7th or 8th, depending on the shift of the line when they go. Should be outside row number 4, I believe. It's still going to be Matt Sisler leading us. Evan Clapper to his outside. Russell Windsor behind him. Ty Weems to Russ's outside. As the pace car pulls her in, Matt Sisler's going to fire us back off one more time.
Green, green, green.
Back green here at Charlotte, lap 30. Hop on in on the poll in the chat if you are interested. Currently looks like Toyota's leading. What you think's gonna win it? Ford, Toyota, or Chevy? And we go Chevy, Toyota, Ford right now. 1, 2, 3 could be any of the three of them. Right here, I think you're thinking to just pace yourself out. Just pace. You got to keep up with the pack. You don't need to be making any crazy moves. There's still quite a bit of race left.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And as I say that, the yellow has gone out. Could be Austin Wright and Jeff Yates, looks like. Maybe a few others. I'm showing some meatball flags. Let's take a look here. Oh my lord, we got a car upside down. Dan Rybarczyk on his lid. Believe whatever happened Happened before we got there. Let us take a look here. We're watching the 91. It showed that Austin Wright was involved too, so it might be ahead of these guys. You can see the smoke up top. Looks like Timothy Presley hard into the wall. Come back down the track. Austin Wright does his best to avoid that. Dan just cannot. And Dan goes up and over in that 91 machine. Scary wreck. Puts it on its lid. You see David McCulloch going to the high side. I'm not sure who that is on the bottom avoiding it. Jeff Yates getting around it. Wowee. Scary, scary ride for a few cars there. Looks like Timothy Presley and Dan Rybarczyk are getting the meatball flag, so it's very unlikely that they are going to make a return tonight. Timothy Presley showing the meatball, but he's still must be trying to drive around to the pits. Maybe he doesn't know how bad his car is, but you can see that car is kind of crab walking a little bit. Not really driving straight. Tires are a little bit goofy. As you can see, he's struggling to get her into the pits here. He nurses her back, and that right front tire has seen better days for sure. Alright, the yellow lights are off. Tighten the belts, it seems like we might need to now. The track's warming up, sun's getting higher. Remember, we're running this in the morning time, so we're doing kind of the opposite of what we normally would, where you run your practice and your qualifying in the afternoon or the evening, and you race into the sunset. We are racing into the sunrise. Our practice and qualifying was at like 5 a.m. I'm not sure what time it is in sim right now, but I'd say probably 7:30, roughly.
Green, green, green.
And we are back green. Matt Sisler still leading us off here. Evan Clapper. Also Matt Bruce. 36 laps in. mostly by Matt Sisler. Most of the race here has been in his control. Hasn't been able to run away from them. It hasn't let anyone around him. Check through the pack here, make sure we're not missing any action. Get a little too focused on the leaders. We missed something that might happen in the back. We also got to see the race for the lead at the same time. So you got to kind of go a little bit cross-eyed when you're watching this. And the yellow is back out. Looks like maybe Philip LaFranca and John Santoro may have come together. Odd for both of them. Both of them usually not getting into it. John Santoro's been a little bit off pace per what his normal is. Let's see what happened. That 30 kind of caught LaFranca pretty quick, but no contact there. Maybe some contact there, yeah. Not sure who the 30 is. Eric Knowles. Eric Knowles, Philip LaFranca look like they came together, and that sent LaFranca right across the nose of John Santoro. LaFranca just kind of pinned there. Santoro's like, dude, get out of my way. And that is where they are going to tow. And that is what waved the yellow flag. Now, almost 40 laps in. Last pit lap on 18 for the leaders here. Owen Vance deciding to pull her in. That might pay off. Change the pit strategy a little bit. A little surprised being 40 laps in, last pit on 18. You ran about 22 laps on your tires that no one decided to pull her down pit road. Other than Owen Vance. Alright, lining them up 2 by 2 this time by. Looks like, I'm not sure why, but Dakota Crawford was given a black flag. The Number 08, Dakota Crawford. Not sure why. He's in the pit, so maybe speeding. Might have sped on pit entry. And then Santoro was given the meatball as well. John Santoro handed a plate of meatballs. That's probably the end of his night. Tough break for a guy usually running up towards the front. Just had an off night tonight. Four cautions deep, coming to lap 42. Pace car pulling her in. Sisler Clapper still leading us off. Green flag is back out. Sisler with another good launch. They've all been on these tires for 18 laps. But it hasn't been green, or sorry, since lap 18. But it hasn't been green that entire time, so I guess a little bit of yellow rolling around has preserved some of the tires a little bit. It makes you wonder, if this stays green, how long are we going to go until we decide we need a set? And the yellow flag comes back out. Looks like something maybe with Eric Knowles and Michael Harris. We're in just a bad patch of getting back into the rhythm of running green. We ran a lot of green flag races, and I am seeing a lot of meatballs. Milo, Niles Davis, Jackson Fanistock, Eric Knowles, Michael Harris, all were given the meatball. Let's take a look and see if we can find out what happened here. We are riding along with Eric Knowles in the number 30. That Monster Energy car on the bottom. Not sure if he sparked it off or what happened. 3 wide in front of him. Did a pretty risky move going to the top. Still nothing there. Then come back down. Got into Milo. I'm sorry, that was Niles Davis in the 38. 48 gets collected. There's Milo in the 26. Got their cars confused. 25 is around. Austin Wright locking him up to try to get around this. Bunch of cars involved here. See if we can get another look here. Maybe with Jackson. See what happened with the 61. 'Cause I didn't see that back there. Sit on the roof with Jackson here in the 61. So you see the cars come up the track. Cars just kind of go everywhere. Absolutely nowhere to go for Jackson here in the 61. Heavy contact. Smashes the front of the car. Pieces and parts everywhere. Wow, how Nathan Swafford didn't collect him again. Boy, that was close on the rear. Unfortunate break on the front of this. As I believe... Oops. Let's try that one. No, it's not the right front. Is it the right rear? Nope. Huh. Thought he had a broken tire. There it is. Left front. Thought it was the right front. But a tough break for the 61er Buddy Jackson. Just some unfortunate luck. Nowhere to go. Everyone kind of went everywhere. Couple drivers got the short end of the stick of a mess that wasn't theirs. Ryan McCall up to the front. And Alan Steigerwalt up 25 positions is going to be firing off in row 2 on the outside. Boy has driven himself to the front. It's going to be firing off outside row 2. Bunch of drivers that were up front did decide to pit this time by. Looks like Evan Clapper, Russell Windsor, Devin McIntosh, Ty Weems, James Lambert, Dylan Harris, Jeff Yates. All pit this time by for this yellow. So it'll be interesting to watch them come through the pack with these drivers in the front that haven't pit since lap 18. We're going to be going live here at lap 48. These car poles are back in, so let's let these boys have some more fun. Matt Sisler, Ryan McCall going to fire us off here. And Allen doesn't let Sisler take it alone. 1-2 punch for their team. Now you've got a drafting partner. Now you got a partner to dance with. You're on the same pit rotation. What can Ryan McCall and Matt Bruce come up with? Very fast cars that are both teammates leading this race right now. Matt Sisler, Alan Steigerwalt. We are 50 laps in. Another driver that's made a lot of moves that we haven't mentioned a whole bunch is Nathan Swaffer. He was slightly involved in that last wreck, kind of going skidding. This was the car, the 15 machine, that just missed the back of Jackson when we were riding along with Jackson there. He's up 18 positions up into 9th, so he's kind of turning this run into a similar style of Alan Steigerwalt. Gaining a lot of positions here. Back up front, Sisler, Steigerwalt, McCall, Bruce, Bessemer, Vance, Weevil, Balmain, Ty Weems, and Nathan Swafford are our top 10. Here are the car logos. Heavy Chevy out front at the moment. Ford, then a Toyota, Chevy, Ford is your top 10. There are your positions. Gain, Matt Sisler's up 1. Ryan McCall is up 9. Steigerwald's up 25 positions. Matt Bruce lost 1. Bessemer's up 2. Vance is up 6. Wivel is up 3. Balmain's up 5. Weems is down 3. And Clapper is down 9. Fun little add-on there. You can see where your favorite driver has gained or lost from where they started in the race. Driver to mention here, Zane Woods, up 12 positions at the moment. Currently running in 14th place, trying to work his way around Jake Balmain. I believe Zane had a drive-through. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he had a drive-through to start this race. So seeing him slowly pick his way through the field here is nice. Coming back with a little adversity to start the race here at Charlotte. Looking to break himself into the top 10. 3 more spots to go. As we have some green flag pit stops. It looks like Matt Sisler, Alan Steigerwalt, both pulling it in. Teammates staying on the same plan. Like to see that. But definitely have some opposing pit box selections. As by the time Steigerwald's done with his pit, Matt Sisler will be arriving to his. Like 4 and some fuel. Sisler's left sides are going on now. Smokes the tires and he's out of here. Steigerwald right behind him, 1-2 punch. They stay linked up. No black flags. We are good to go. Lap 63 started their pit rotation. Ooh, assuming Steigerwald's okay with that one. I don't see a flag for an unsafe pit exit. Should be good to go. Looks good for me. Looks good for him. Keep an eye on that. Russell Windsor's leading her at the moment. Last pit, lap 46. Here is your pit strategy stint length. It's weird. This isn't a new thing that we've had. Just East doesn't usually run long enough green flag stints to be able to see this. So you can see Russell Windsor, Evan Clapper on the same strategy. 18, 28, then 19, now 20 laps. The number inside of the colored box shows how many laps they ran on that set, or on that stint, usually set of tires. So you can see Owen Vance made that early call. Oh, I guess it didn't want to show us anymore. All right, well, we broke that one. That's cool. But Owen Vance made the early call, which is making this stint run a little bit longer for him. As we are being led by Russell Windsor. Again, last pit lap of 46. Soon, shortly here, we should be seeing the number 20 machine pull her in. We've got strategy kind of all over the place. Your leader's out front right now, 46. Owen Vance, lap 40. Looking down, Nathan Swafford's lap 27. He's running in 7th place. Another lap 46 of Jeff Yates. Then it gets into your recently pit guys. Matt Sisler, 63. 65 for Matt Bruce. Bessemer, McCall, 64 for Weevil. Jake Balmain was 64. So we've got pit strategy all over the place, which is something that we don't usually get to talk about, as there's traditionally a lot of cautions, but we ran that little stint in the middle, got the cautions maybe hopefully out of the way. So in chat, who you guys got winning this? Can Windsor hold on? Do we see Sisler drive it back up to the front with Steigerwald? Do we get a new winner like Zane Woods? Jeff Yates is running 9th. He was in a little scuffle earlier. I believe his crew had to put the front end of that car back on. Devin McIntosh running 5th. Who are you guys thinking it could be? Clapper looking like he wants to make the move on the inside. Side by side with Windsor. Clapper has been fast this entire race as well. Ty Weems is there in third also. Can't forget about him. Weems for the sneak finish. I could see it. Honestly, you get something like what's happening right now. Two drivers come together. Weems is right there to capitalize if this is how it was to finish. It's going to finish with the 72 in first and the 93 in third. That would be crazy for their team. Yeah, that would be super cool. See Matt Sisler there in the 93, working on getting his lap back. He is a lap down because he's already pit. That 93 has been incredibly fast. And he works his way around the leader. That is going to leave Steigerwalt, the lucky dog, if he doesn't earn his lap back here as well. Currently 9th. Not in a bad spot. Just the front half of the pack has not pit yet. So we definitely have some strategy going on as your leaders are all lap 46. So we're about 35-ish laps, roughly. Tire use. I think you got to be seeing your leaders pit here soon. Yates pulling her in. I think you got to see the leaders pitting here soon. As Matt Sisler is trying to just pull away and go hide. He has quite a lead right now. And he's being scored in 7th, but once this pit rotation completes, he'll be the leader, assuming nothing catastrophic happens. Owen Vance pulling her into the pits. Devin McIntosh driving with Ty Weems here for third. Evan Clapper has decided to pull her in, which is leaving Russell Windsor out there by himself to lead the race. Devin McIntosh being scored second. Winsor's looking slow on the bottom. I believe he is pulling her into the pits here. Oh, and he loops it on pit entry. Oh, and he shuffles up the pack. No yellows thrown, but let's see if we can get a look and see what happened. Possibly just lock the brakes up. Yeah, looks like maybe a little bit of a misjudged pit entrance here when we were changing the cameras. Wanted it and maybe wasn't fully expecting that much tire wear. Could have been going a little too quick. Easy to spin coming out of 4 there, and you can see he locks up the rear tires. Everything's good here. But it's when that car came back, he kind of backed it right up in front of Devin McIntosh, made some contact with the right rear, and just trying to get out of the way, pulls it back in front of Ty Weems. who I don't see any black flags at all coming out of this, so no speeding, no passing, no nothing like that happened. But the interesting part here is that Sisler is leading on an island all by himself with fresh rubbers underneath him. Well, 23-lap-old fresh rubbers, I guess I should say, with the so much drastic shift between the pit rotations. They're not as fresh as they once were. You can see we've only got 30 laps left. Sisler and Steigerwald running the 1-2 punch. Bessemer and Bruce right behind him. And Ryan McCall is there as well. So Jacob Bessemer, Matt Bruce, Ryan McCall are all part of Start and Park Motorsports. So they are a team trying to break up the Matt Sisler, Alan Steigerwald team as well. M3S Motorsports. Steigerwald running one hell of a race, currently up 26 spots. Some very fast, but very, I would say, trusting drivers behind him. I wouldn't be too super nervous. I don't think that they're going to run him anything too crazy. They might pass him, but I don't think they're going to make any dumb moves on him. Which, that's what we like. Matt Sisler's kind of just checked out here. Bessemer and Steigerwald running for second. .25 to go. Bessemer trying to do what he can to catch up to Matt Sisler here. Sisler with an almost 3-second lead is going to be tough to catch without a yellow. Not sure. I assume your leaders here are going to have to pit one more time. I mean, that would be putting a little over 50 laps on the tires, as he's last pit on lap 63, and we're on lap 92, coming to 93 right now. So I assume we're going to have to pull her into the pits, at least for fuel, if you don't have tires left. Not that you want to with a almost 3-second lead, but There he goes right now, right on cue. Gets her slowed down, pulls her in. Bessemer pulls in with him. McCall as well. That's going to leave Allen. Allen decides to stay out, doesn't pit with his teammate. I don't know if he missed the call. I do think they're in a chat together somewheres. Steigerwalt staying out. Matt Bruce staying out. Which is eventually when Steigerwalt has to pit and Bruce is going to have to pit, it's going to put Evan Clapper in an interesting position with last pit on lap 82. Just because he might be able to run the longevity of them tires, really push the late race here. Might be able to sneak one just off of just his pit rotation timing, but Steigerwalt leading 19 laps to go. Again, last pit on lap 63. Okay, this will work again. So he's 33 laps on this set. He ran 45 on his last one. So there are your numbers here. He can milk another 45 out of this set. Be pretty darn close to the end of the race here, so he might just be hoping that he saved enough tires. We've seen Matt Bruce, and he's quite quick. Let's see if he's quick enough to catch up to the 72 machine, I guess. Steigerwalt leading her. See, around the outside. Oh, Steigerwalt pulling her in right now. Says, shut up, Fred, I want new tires. So that is going to lead Evan Clapper to be the race leader with Matt Bruce right behind him. Which, like we were saying, Evan Clapper last pit on lap 82. So he's 26 laps. His current tires, we are on lap 98. So we only got 26 on him now. We've seen drivers push the 45, a little more, a little less mark. So only 16 laps to go. He's kind of right in that window. Same with Matt Bruce, I assume, is going to have to pit. He last pit on lap 65. So if Matt Bruce pulls her in, that would leave Owen Vance, Ty Weems, Russell Windsor right behind him. So Evan Clapper in a pretty good spot with a weird pit rotation time. Finds himself leading the race with an honest chance to pick up the win here. 15 to go at Charlotte. Playing the long strategy game. Clapper, 13 left. What are you thinking right now if you're inside the helmet of the number 7 machine? Car behind's 2 1/4. I'm a little worried about my tire fall off. I don't know what the car behind me has. Not that that's really gonna matter. You also have to wonder, can Matt Sisler drive it from 9th, now 8th? He has been running incredible. You're obviously hoping for no late race caution right now. You only got a dozen laps left. You're 103 in. People are pitting all over the place. Just want to kind of just run away with it. I don't think that I'm thinking that I want to pit. My thought, at the moment, I'm just going to see what these tires can do. I think that's my call at this moment. Yellow comes out as another story, but at this moment, right here, right now, I'm not thinking pit as long as my crew chief says I got enough fuel in there. I think we're good to go. Owen Vance here in the 88. Running second. How do you make up 3 seconds? Well, I'd say I'd hitch a chain right to the 72 machine and follow him because he's driven it from the back to the front today. And then Ty Weems running third has ran an incredible race all day. He's been in front all day. Awesome, awesome run. And Matt Sisler up to 7th on some of the freshest tires out on the track, minus Matt Bruce and Nathan Swafford. He's on the fresh tires. I mean, he's so far off pace. He's got 25 seconds. You're not making up 25 seconds in 9 laps, but we see the late race restart. You might be able to make up some room there just on if the leaders pit or if you have the fresher tires. We might be seeing a yellow. I just saw a big puff of smoke. Maybe not. Nothing came up. Thought I saw a big puff of smoke. All right. What was a big puff of smoke? Must be they kept it controlled, contained. One driver here to mention in 8th is Zane Woods. Driven it up 18 positions, overcame the penalties to begin with. On the lead lap, just made it around Evan Clapper. Clapper's putting the blocks on Jacob Bessemer here. Doesn't want Bessemer to get around him. Bessemer just has very, very fresh tires. About a dozen laps newer tires, so you're kind of seeing the tire fade off. Now, fortunately for Clapper, Owen Vance behind him is on similar pit rotation, actually 2 laps older. So 6 more laps to go, and you've got a 4.5, 4.25 second lead. You're sitting pretty good. To go. Well, we got a little battle here. Russell Windsor and Ty Weems for 3rd. And Zane Woods having to pit, must have ran her out of fuel. That's all I can figure. Gonna drop a few spots there. Sitting 3rd. 3 laps remaining. Nearing the end. The end is near. Owen Vance. We were saying earlier when he set up that pit call, he pit before everybody else. We were saying that might be a long-term game if this goes green. And I guess it washed out to being on a very similar rotation as everyone else this time, but he did gain some spots. He's up 10 positions, so that early call to pit early seemed like it might have paid dividends here. Got 2 laps left. number 7 machine here. Steigerwalt making the pass to get his lap back. Ran a hell of a race. He's in 9th right now, Alan is. As we are coming to the white flag. Evan Clapper on an island pretty much by himself. Almost a 6-second lead over Owen Vance. Played the strategy game like a fiddle. I may be wrong, but this might be first career win for Evan Clapper. I'd have to look at the stat book. Well, we might just be interviewing him. Evan Clapper is going to pick up the playoff win here at Charlotte. Congrats to that number 7 team. Try to get some interviews going on once everyone gets across the line here. And Ford was the winner of the poll. Looks like we got Evan Clapper, Owen Vance, Russell Windsor to interview. Let's grab Russell. He was in 3rd. Let's grab Russ, see what he says. Russell, it's Fred up in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure do. How you doing, Fred?
Doing all right. You put on a good head of steam there through the race. Were able to keep her up front for a lot of it, and you pulled into a podium. Kind of give us the play-by-play of how you pieced that one together. There was a little bit of pit strategy involved.
Yeah, the pit strategy played out for me. The only pit strategy that didn't play out is me spinning on pit entry and probably costing myself about 10 seconds that I really needed there at the end.
No, we
Otherwise,
didn't see that live and then watch it on replay. I don't know why you'd ask.
Did you see it?
Oh yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
We were were watching you, and then I saw you had entered pit lane and we cut to another car, and then I saw smoke at the pits. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I cut back to you sitting sideways, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I just was running my brake bias too much to the rear, and I really didn't need it the way the race played out. I could have been much more conservative there, but yeah, just cooked it off in there, lost by about 7.5 seconds, and that's about where I was when I came off pit road. So
yeah,
I was pretty even with Clapper there, but he ran a clean race, and you can't really make a mistake like that and still expect to win without some luck with cautions there. What we really needed was a caution after all the other guys pit and got pinned a lap down, like Sisler, Bessemer.
Yep.
And then we would have been in good shape. But I'll take a P3. I think I made up some points on Matt. So
I think so too. So yeah, that was a good run. The strategy call was fun on our side to watch. We kept mentioning usually in East we don't see. It doesn't run long enough for us to talk pit strategy and who's on what for tires and where their fuel levels might be. So that was fun to call out for on our side, for the announcing side of who is where and who's pitting under green, or that's always a
yeah, it's a lot more fun as the driver as well when it goes that way, because then every 10th matters when you're seeing how it's all going to cycle out, and you just have to kind of lock in and log laps. So I like it a lot more than the restart fest where we're running 5 or 10 laps wide open and then doing it again and again. So it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Before I cut you back to your Viver team, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
If Fast Eddie's watching again this week, I think he said he was going to tune in. Shout out James Lambert there with the P5. That's a good finish for him. He was really fast, and he didn't get any practice whatsoever. So
nice. Natural
good run
talent.
Good run for Vivor. So appreciate it, Fred.
All right, for sure. We will we'll be seeing you next week.
Sure will.
Alrighty, P2, Owen Vance. Let's grab him. Owen, it's Fred in the booth. You got a copy on me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, welcome to the league. Putting her up P2. New driver for Elite. How you feeling?
I'm feeling kind of lucky. There was a huge wreck on one of the last cautions, and it was the only one from ninth to pit. And I just, kind of got lucky where I could 2-stop it. Everybody else had to 3-stop it.
Yeah, we were up in the booth. We were talking about your pit strategy. I saw you. Everyone stayed out for a few more laps. I think it was like the second pit, and you pulled in. I don't know, it might have been 5 or 10 laps before everyone, and I'm like, I bet that this is it's going to be a late game call, hoping that it stays green, and it did. You gained 10 positions from where you started, and now you're sitting second on the podium. So I think that was a good call for your strategy call there.
Yeah, I felt like I was faster than some of the guys in front of me. It's just so hard to pass here without making it 3 wide. So I was if they're going to stay out, I only have about 18 laps of fuel left. I'm going to come in because my teammate Swafford, he was just topping off, and I went back there with him. Got lucky with a few yellows, and it just worked in my favor to where I finished with about a lap left of fuel.
Yeah. It was interesting. I know that you're kind of on the newer side of the league, but I don't want to say usually and make it sound bad, but traditionally we don't get to see a lot of these long runs where you're having to play a pit strategy in your head and monitor what you have for fuel and monitor, what your tire wear is and try to tire save or how aggressive can you be. So it was really cool for us to watch, and I'm sure for you guys, inside the car, to come up with a long-term game plan and, hope it stays green. Don't want that late yellow because I know I got guys behind me on fresh tires, and, you don't want any of that to happen. And it was cool, and obviously cool for you because it panned out.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last 2 restarts, I was being conservative in my tire wear the whole time, using the brakes early in the run. And so actually at the end of the last run, the guy behind me on fresh tires only picked up about half a second in the last 20 laps.
Yeah. And that's the other thing of the pitting and whatnot is it kind of spreads everyone out, especially like in your leaders, is if you're not all pitting at the same time, it puts people in different positions, right? So like obviously Evan Clapper won by almost 6 seconds, and then you had almost a 1 or 2 second lead over third. So it sets that up, which to you have a 2 second buffer to the car behind you, but you're also thinking, how can I make up 6 seconds? Which is next to impossible.
Yeah, when I saw him coming out of the pits, I think he came out about 4 laps after me, and he was faster all race, so I wasn't even wasting my stuff on him, really. I let him go.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like, I was in his draft for about 10 laps. Me and him were together.
Yep.
Then we hit a lapper, and I got stuck behind that lapper for about a lap, and then I was just like, I'm going to save my stuff. Got to about a 4.5 second buffer to third, and I started pushing just a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. Well, congrats on your second place finish. Anyone you want to thank or shout out before I send you back down?
Just Nathan. Nathan Swafford's the one that was asking me how much fuel I had left, and he recommended it was a good idea to come down, so I did that.
Nice. All right. Little teammate crew chief action going on. That's cool. All right. Well, congrats on the second place. It's cool to see you up front this early in your journey into Superstar ARCA. And we'll be, I'm sure, interviewing you here again soon.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. And let's go here. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, Evan Clapper.
Hey.
How you feeling? That was a strategy call, and it panned out.
I'm actually so pumped I can't believe it worked. Last week I took 2 at the very end of the race at New Hampshire, and it didn't work at all. And then I did something different this week, and it worked.
Nice.
It's just how it is sometimes.
Sometimes. So first off, and correct me if I'm wrong, is this your first win with Superstar ARCA?
It is.
It is. Okay, I thought it was. I always see it up front, but I don't think you've sealed the deal yet. So congrats on that. The first one's always exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of close calls this season, some top fives, but finally snuck one out.
Yeah,
from under everyone.
I saw you burning it down, and I'm like, well, that doesn't look like a burnout. That's your 5th or 6th win. That looked exciting.
Yep.
So what was going through your mind from the drop of the green, because you qualified on the pole and you finished it in first? So I mean, you kind of got Charlotte figured out, I would say.
Yeah, I was really confident in my long run pace today. I was hoping for some long green flag runs. We didn't really get any in the first half of the race, but once we did, I knew that I was gonna just be able to lock in and just ride it out. Especially when I knew I had the fuel advantage. I felt pretty confident in the long run pace. I knew had a good chance to pull it off.
Yeah, I would agree with you. You had a 6-second win. I would say your long run pace was pretty solid. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, we started off, we had a decent little longer stint right off the get, and then it was like plagued with like 5 cautions in a row, and then cleared right up, and it was green for the rest of the race. So that was really cool. Like I told the two before you, it's very cool for us to watch and see the strategies at play, and how you guys in the cars, maybe I'll pit this lap, or can I hold out another lap, or do I take all 4? Do I just take rights? How much fuel? And come into play with the long-term strategy is fun to see. And then especially as you get later in the race, like I would say that at least the 3 of you that I've interviewed are up front praying for no yellow, because the cars behind you have fresh tires and fuel.
Oh yeah, I was definitely hoping for no caution, especially because we had so little cars on the lead lap that those really fast guys like Sisler and Windsor, both of them were right on my heels. They'd have been right back to me if we got a caution.
Yeah.
So thankful for that.
Well, congrats on the win. Congrats on your first win. Anyone you want to thank or shout out or throw shade at or create a new rivalry with?
No shade. Shout out to my boys Dan and Blake. They both got killed in those 2 last cautions. But Dan was watching the stream and Blake hung out with me in BC, so appreciate that. Thanks to them.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, I'm going to send you back down to the waiting room and go pop some bottles and enjoy this one, and maybe we'll be seeing you next week.
Yep, thanks. Hopefully see y'all next week.
Yeah, you bet. All right, I saw chat was going nuts here for a minute. Let's see. Well, wrong strategy. Someone got mad at you. I didn't see that. Threw it away because, to borrow the words from wise Ferrari driver from Monaco, I am stupid. Me and the 40 were having an absolute battle for a bit. I saw that. I saw you guys were running pretty solid there. Yeah, we were, Little Hooper, we were talking about you a whole bunch tonight. You definitely got some airtime. I mean, you don't drive it from 28th to the lead and not get talked about. But yeah, it came down to strategy all over the track. A lot of your fast guys finished deep, and a lot of your deep guys finished up towards the front. Evan Clapper put it on the pole and finished there, but Owen Vance gained 10, James Lambert gained 15, Alan Steigerwalt gained 19, Nathan Swafford gained 14, Zane Woods gained 11, Jeff Yates gained 15, David McCulloch gained 13. So a lot of just different strategy calls paying off. You got guys, making up points, guys just having fun, and guys out, trying to win the race. So super cool, super fun. I like when these races you get a good stint of green flag running. Makes it a little more interesting all around, both for you guys in the car and for us to watch. So on that note, we're going to end her there. I'm going to send you guys off. I have a thunderstorm rolling in. It is an absolute downpour here in upstate New York right now. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Next week, I believe we will be at Auto Club, heading out to Fontana, out in California. That will be our playoff race number 5, I think. So I will catch you all next week. Lil Hooper says my win will come hopefully sometime soon, man. Hopefully sometime soon. Maybe next week. You never know. All right, guys. We will catch y'all on the flip. See you next Wednesday.